The city of Virex. 9 never slept, not because it couldn't, but because it had evolved beyond the need for rest. Suspended between 2 dying stars, its chrome towers shimmered under artificial skies, cycling through programmed sunsets and synthetic dawns. It was a city of logic, algorithms, and absolute precision. And in Virex 9, there was no room for uncertainty. Aaron Solis thrived in that world. At just 27, he was one of the youngest cognitive analysts in the Central Intelligence Nexus, a place where questions were currency and answers shaped reality. His job was simple in theory, but terrifying in practice. Respond to inquiries posed by the High Council with absolute accuracy. Mistakes didn't just cost reputations. They erased lives. Aaron had never made a mistake. That morning began like any other. He stepped into the Nexus chamber, a vast circular hall with a glass floor that revealed streams of glowing data rushing beneath. 12 floating consoles hovered around the room, each assigned to an analyst. Above them, a colossal sphere pulsed with information, the living brain of the city. Aaron slid into his station. His console lit up instantly. Analyst Solis. The system's voice chimed. You have been selected for a direct query. A direct query. That meant the question came not from a subordinate department or an automated system, but from someone powerful. Someone important. Aaron's pulse quickened, though he masked it well. This was what he trained for. Proceed, he said calmly. The chamber dimmed. A figure appeared in front of him. Not physically, but as a projection. A woman. She wore simple attire, gray robes with no markings, no rank insignia, nothing to indicate status. Her face was partially obscured by a soft glow, as if the system itself refused to fully render her. Unusual. Analyst, she said, her voice steady and composed. I have a question. Aaron nodded. All queries are welcome. She tilted her head slightly. What determines the survival of a civilization? Aaron almost smiled. This was basic. Philosophical, perhaps, but within the Nexus, philosophy had long been reduced to measurable variables. He answered without hesitation. Adaptability, he said. A civilization survives by adapting to environmental, technological, and social changes. Static systems collapse. Dynamic systems endure. The woman watched him silently. Is that your final answer? She asked. Aaron leaned back slightly confident. Yes. There was a pause, longer than necessary. Then she spoke again. And what of truth? Aaron frowned faintly. Truth is a variable concept. In most cases, it is subordinate to survival. Another pause. And what of loyalty? Now Aaron felt a slight irritation. These follow-up questions were unnecessary. Loyalty is a stabilizing force, he replied, but it can become a liability if it prevents adaptation. The woman stepped closer. The glow around her dimmed slightly, revealing more of her features, sharp eyes, calm expression, something unsettling. And what, she said softly, would you do if the truth threatened survival and loyalty demanded silence? Aaron didn't hesitate. You suppress the truth, he said. Survival takes precedence. Silence. Then, the projection flickered. The Nexus sphere above them pulsed violently. The room's lights shifted from blue to deep crimson. Aaron's console froze. Warning, the system announced. Authorization, override in progress. Aaron sat upright. What's happening? The woman didn't answer. Instead, the glow around her vanished completely, and Aaron's breath caught in his throat, because the gray robes dissolved into something else entirely, an intricate garment woven with threads of gold and starlight. Symbols appeared across the fabric, ancient and unmistakable. Royal insignia. His mind raced. No, it couldn't be. But the system confirmed it before he could speak. Identity verified, the voice declared. Sovereign authority recognized. Aaron's blood ran cold. The woman standing before him wasn't just a high-ranking official. She was the queen. Part 2. The weight of an answer. Aaron dropped to his knees instinctively. "My queen," he said, his voice suddenly dry. I was not informed. That was intentional," she interrupted gently. Her tone wasn't harsh. It wasn't angry. If anything, it was curious. "Stand," she said. He hesitated, then obeyed. The chamber had gone completely silent. The other analysts were gone, disconnected, removed from the system. It was just the two of them now, and the entire nexus. "You answered quickly," the queen said, pacing slowly around him. Confidently. Aaron swallowed. "I believe the question to be theoretical." "Nothing within the nexus is theoretical," she replied. He felt the weight of that statement settle over him. "What you said," she continued, "was logical, efficient, aligned with the principles that built this city." Aaron dared to look at her. "But," he asked. She stopped in front of him. "But logic is not always wisdom." The words struck harder than any reprimand. Aaron straightened slightly. "With respect, Your Majesty, the data supports my conclusions." "Does it?" she asked. She raised her hand. The sphere above them shifted, projecting streams of data into the air. Images, statistics, simulations. "Show him," she commanded. The system obeyed. Aaron watched as a model of Virex 9 appeared, a perfect simulation of the city. Then, variables began to change. Truth was suppressed. Loyalty was enforced. Adaptability increased. At first, the system thrived. Efficiency skyrocketed. Conflicts decreased. Stability reached unprecedented levels. Aaron felt a flicker of validation. Then, the model began to crack. Small inconsistencies appeared. Data anomalies. Hidden errors. Because truth had been suppressed. The system couldn't correct itself. It didn't know it was broken. And by the time it did, it was too late. The simulation collapsed. Total failure. Aaron's confidence faltered. "That scenario assumes," he began, "that truth is expendable," the queen finished. He fell silent. She stepped closer. "You said survival takes precedence," she said. "But survival built on falsehood is not survival. It is delay." Aaron's mind raced. He searched for a counterargument, something to defend his position. But the data was right there. Clear. Undeniable. "I miscalculated," he admitted quietly. The queen studied him. "No," she said. "You followed the system." He looked up. "The nexus teaches efficiency," she continued. "Optimization. It rewards certainty. But it does not teach doubt." Aaron frowned. "Doubt leads to hesitation. And hesitation," she said, "can prevent catastrophe." He hadn't considered that. "Not like this." The queen turned away, gazing up at the sphere. "For decades," she said, "this city has relied on analysts like you. Brilliant minds. Perfect answers." She paused. "And yet something is wrong." Aaron felt it too now, a subtle tension in the air, like a system running just slightly off balance. "What do you mean?" he asked. She didn't answer directly. Instead, she asked another question. "If you were given the choice," she said, "to protect the system or to reveal a truth that could destroy it, what would you do?" Aaron hesitated. For the first time in his career, he didn't have an immediate answer. "I don't know," he said finally. The queen smiled faintly. "Good." Part 3. The Hidden Fracture. The queen gestured, and the chamber shifted again. This time, the projection wasn't a simulation. It was real-time data. Aaron recognized it immediately. The core. The central processing unit of Virex 9, the heart of the entire city. But something was wrong. The data streams were inconsistent, not broken, but altered.
Subtly.
Someone is modifying the system, Aaron said. Yes, the Queen replied. Why hasn't this been flagged? It has, she said, but only at the lowest levels. The anomalies are being filtered out before they reach the analysts. Aaron's stomach tightened. That means the Nexus itself is compromised, she finished. Silence. That's impossible, Aaron said. The system is self-correcting. It can't. It can, she said, if the truth is suppressed. The realization hit him like a shockwave. His own logic, used against the system. If the Nexus prioritizes stability over truth, he murmured, then it would ignore anomalies that threaten stability. Exactly. Aaron felt a chill run through him. Someone had figured it out. Someone was using the system's own principles to hide within it. Who would do this? He asked. The Queen met his gaze. That, she said, is what I need you to find out. Part 4. The investigation. Aaron had never worked outside the Nexus before. Now, he found himself deep within the lower sectors of Virex, 9 places most analysts never even saw. The city was different here. Less perfect. More real. He moved through dimly lit corridors, his portable console scanning for irregularities. The anomalies led him to a restricted zone. Access denied, the system warned. Aaron hesitated. Then, he did something he'd never done before. He bypassed the system. Not through logic, but through instinct. The door opened. Inside, he found a single terminal and a message. Welcome, Analyst. Aaron froze. You're looking for the truth, the message continued. But are you ready to see it? The screen flickered. And then, data flooded in. Hidden records. Suppressed reports. Erased histories. Aaron's eyes widened. This wasn't sabotage. It was exposure. The anomalies weren't errors. They were truths the system had chosen to ignore. Failures. Corruption. Decisions that prioritized stability over reality. His own answers echoed in the data. You see it now, the message said. Aaron's hands trembled. Who are you? He demanded. The screen shifted, and for a moment, he saw a reflection. Not of himself, but of the Queen. Part 5. The realization. Aaron returned to the Nexus, his mind racing. The Queen was waiting. You found it, she said. He nodded slowly. It wasn't an attack, he said. It was a correction.
She didn't respond.
You knew, he realized. I suspected, she said. Why test me? Because I needed to know, she said, if the system could still produce someone capable of seeing beyond it. Aaron stepped closer. The anomalies, they're necessary, he said. They reveal the truth the system hides. Yes. But if we expose them, the system will destabilize, she said. And if we don't, it will collapse anyway. Aaron closed his eyes. The question came back to him. Truth or survival? Loyalty or reality? He took a deep breath. Then he gave his answer. We reveal the truth, he said. The Queen studied him. This time, there was no smile. Only approval. Then the future of Virex 9, she said, is yours to help rebuild. Epilogue. A different kind of answer. The Nexus changed after that. It became slower. Less certain, but more honest. Aaron remained an analyst, but he no longer gave immediate answers. He asked questions. He embraced doubt. And sometimes, he said the 3 words that once terrified him. I don't know. Because he understood now that the most dangerous answer is the one given with absolute confidence, without understanding the question. And the woman who taught him that was never just testing his intelligence. She was testing whether the system still had a soul.